"Shut up, you don't belong here." Officer Marcus Bradley's voice echoes through the crowded federal courtroom. His face is red with anger as he glares at the black woman presenting evidence at the podium. "You people come in here lying about good cops, destroying families, ruining lives." His finger jabs into the air toward her. Maxine Waters remains unfazed. She continues speaking calmly. "I said shut up." Bradley charges forward, his boots pounding on the marble floor. 20 phones immediately start recording. Waters doesn't move, doesn't flinch, just keeps speaking in that steady professional tone, which drives him further into rage. The slap reverberates like a gunshot. Her head snaps to the side. Gasps fill the courtroom. "Know your place," Bradley growls. Waters touches her cheek, adjusts her glasses, and when she looks up, her eyes are ice cold. Something shifts in her posture. Her military training takes over. Bradley has no idea what's coming next. He doesn't even know who he just struck. Washington, D.C. hums with tension this Tuesday morning. Outside the federal courthouse, protesters wave signs reading "Reform Now" and "Back the Blue." Inside, marble halls echo with the footsteps of lawyers, activists, and reporters, all gathered for what promises to be explosive testimony. Courtroom 4A is packed to capacity. Judge Patricia Morrison presides over hearings that could reshape policing in America. Cameras focus on the witness stand. At the podium stands Maxine Waters, dressed in a simple black suit without jewelry or badges. Her wire-rimmed glasses catch the light as she shuffles through manila folders filled with evidence. Waters purposely keeps her identity hidden. She wants her evidence to speak, not her political status. Her soft, clear voice carries through the courtroom, making even seasoned officers shift uneasily. In the past 3 years, excessive force complaints have increased 43% in predominantly minority neighborhoods, she states. Advancing to the next slide, Officer Marcus Bradley stands at attention by the side door. He was transferred here last week from the 4th District, a promotion in name only. He didn't bother reading the briefing materials, assuming it was the same old story. Activists and troublemakers trying to tear down everything he spent 15 years building. At 38, Bradley comes from 3 generations of police officers. His grandfather patrolled in the 1960s, his father became a detective before being shot in 1995, and his brother died in the line of duty just 2 years ago. To Bradley, the badge is not just a job, it's sacred family heritage. He watches Waters with growing anger. Her calm demeanor, her detailed charts, and the way she speaks with first-hand understanding of street realities all irritate him. What he doesn't know is that Waters served 2 tours in Afghanistan as a Marine Corps captain, earned a Bronze Star for valor, and can disarm a man twice her size in under 4 seconds. To him, she's just another privileged activist with an agenda. Waters continues her testimony, unaware of Bradley's rising hostility. She has faced hostile audiences before: angry town halls, contentious committee meetings, late-night congressional sessions. This feels routine. Officer misconduct complaints show clear patterns, she explains, her laser pointer highlighting key statistics. Certain units report significantly higher rates of civilian complaints, use of force incidents, and disciplinary actions. The gallery murmurs. Some nod. Others shake their heads in disapproval. Bradley's jaw tightens. Hands clench into fists. He's heard this story before. Bleeding hearts with statistics and studies, trying to tarnish good officers who risk their lives every day. What Bradley doesn't realize is that every statistic Waters presents comes from federal investigations, representing real people whose lives were shattered by police violence, some involving his own unit. Even his own actions, Judge Morrison observes closely. She's seen tensions escalate in cases like this, which is why she requested extra security and stationed Bradley to maintain order. Neither she nor anyone else knows they've placed a ticking time bomb behind the woman whose evidence is about to expose him. Waters clicks to the next slide. Bradley's photo appears alongside a list of civilian complaints spanning 7 years. The courtroom seems to drop in temperature. Everyone holds their breath as Waters continues. Case Study 12. Officer Marcus Bradley, District 4, Waters announces calmly. His face turns bright red as every person in the packed courtroom stares at his photo, while she lists his record. Excessive force in March 2019. Racial profiling in June 2019. Unauthorized arrest in September 2020. That's not true. Bradley mutters loud enough for others to hear. Judge Morrison bangs her gavel. Officer maintains silence. Waters clicks to video evidence. Grainy body cam footage shows Bradley yanking a black teenager from a car during a traffic stop. The teen's hands are raised, terrified, yet Bradley slams him against the vehicle anyway. The courtroom gasps. The suspect sustains a broken wrist and facial lacerations. No weapons, no drugs, no warrants, Waters reports matter-of-factly. Bradley's hands shake with rage. She's making him look like a monster. Another video shows him yelling at a Hispanic woman during a domestic call. She doesn't understand English fast enough. He grabs her arm roughly. "Ma'am, when an officer gives orders, you follow immediately," his recorded voice echoes. The woman cries, trying to explain. Bradley doesn't listen. Judge Morrison frowns. The gallery shifts uncomfortably. Bradley steps forward. "Your Honor, she's taking everything out of context." "Officer Bradley, return to your post. Do not interrupt again." Waters finally meets his eyes across the marble floor. She sees a man on the edge. He sees someone dismantling his life. Waters turns back to her microphone. The pattern continues through 17 documented incidents. Bradley's radio crackles with his supervisor warning him to stay in position, but he isn't listening. All he hears is his reputation being destroyed, one statistic at a time. By day 2, Bradley seethes over his public humiliation. That woman ruined his reputation in front of cameras, colleagues, and strangers. He needs answers. During lunch, he corners Officer Martinez from courthouse security. "Who is that woman testifying about police misconduct?" he demands. Martinez shrugs. "Some expert witness, huh? Why does she have access to my internal files, my body cam footage? How do activists even get federal investigation materials? Maybe she's connected." Bradley considers this and nods, settling on the explanation. In his mind, Maxine Waters represents the liberal elite. Privileged academics who have never walked a real beat but think they understand police work. That evening, he spends hours online. He finds a few articles mentioning police reform expert Kesha Williams, but focuses only on comments labeling her anti-cop and radical. He doesn't notice the small print identifying her as Congresswoman Waters. His anger filters out anything that contradicts his assumptions. Day 3 begins with fresh challenges. Waters plays audio recordings from police radio chatter. Bradley's voice is heard responding to a robbery last year. Units responding to armed robbery. Suspects described as 3 black males, early 20s. Normal procedure so far. Then Waters plays the unedited version. Units responding 3 black males. Usual suspects doing usual suspect things. Bradley's recorded tone drips with disdain. The courtroom stiffens. His casual racism is broadcast in high clarity. Waters moves to another recording, a traffic stop conversation. Another instance of driving while black. Bradley's voice laughs. "Let's see what we can find." Members of the gallery gasp. Some shake their heads in disgust. Bradley's face flushes purple. These recordings were confidential. How does Waters have access? Judge Morrison maintains stern control, though her disapproval is clear. Bradley interrupts. "Your Honor, those recordings are completely out of context." "Officer Bradley, final warning. One more outburst and you'll be removed from this courtroom," the judge commands. Waters doesn't even look at him, calmly advancing to the next exhibit, which fuels Bradley's fury further. Day 4 escalates. Waters presents systematic analysis showing Bradley's unit, targeting minority neighborhoods at rates 340% above the district average. Her charts illustrate arrest patterns, complaint ratios, and use of force statistics. Each number damns Bradley's unit more deeply. Statistical analysis reveals clear bias. Traffic stops in predominantly black neighborhoods occur at rates far exceeding population demographics. Bradley can't contain himself. "That's because that's where the crime is," he shouts. Judge Morrison slams her gavel. "Officer Bradley, you are out of order." She's not twisting statistics. "You will maintain decorum." Bradley shouts back, but court officers move toward him. Raising his hands, he pleads, "I'll control myself, Your Honor, please." The judge studies him carefully. "Last chance, officer. One more disruption and you're banned from these proceedings." Bradley returns to his post, simmering in humiliation. This unknown woman is systematically dismantling everything he has worked for. His reputation, his unit's reputation, his worldview. Waters continues as if nothing happened, her calm professionalism only enraging him further. Day 5 delivers the most damning evidence. Waters presents video of Bradley planting evidence during a drug arrest. The body cam footage is unmistakably clear. Bradley approaches a suspect's car during a traffic stop, pulls a small baggie from his pocket and drops it onto the passenger seat. Suspect: "What's this?" His recorded voice asks. He points at the planted drugs. The courtroom erupts. Gallery members shout, reporters scribble frantically, and Bradley watches his career unravel in real time. That arrest sent a man to prison for 3 years, a man with a family and a life Bradley destroyed. Judge Morrison pounds her gavel. Order in this courtroom." Bradley's vision blurs with rage. Waters has evidence of every mistake, every shortcut, every weak moment in his 15-year career. She clicks to her final slide. Pattern analysis shows systematic misconduct across multiple categories. 17 cases represent documented violations of citizens' constitutional rights. Bradley struggles to breathe. Waters has exposed him as a corrupt officer who betrayed his oath and harmed innocent people. His radio crackles. Bradley, maintain position. Do not engage. But he is beyond following orders. Waters has painted him as everything he swore he would never become. She has made him the villain in his own story. Maxine Waters checks her notes, preparing for her concluding statement. Across the room, Bradley watches, fists clenched. Tomorrow, she will deliver final recommendations that could end not only his career but also impact officers across the department. He refuses to let that happen. Late Tuesday night, Waters reviews her presentation in her hotel room. Her chief of staff, Maya, calls from Washington. "Kesha, that officer is losing it." Security footage shows him pacing, talking to himself. "Maybe you should reveal your congressional status before things escalate." Waters removes her glasses, rubbing tired eyes. "He doesn't know who I am, Maya. That's why this evidence is so effective. He's reacting to facts, not politics. What if he snaps?" Maya presses. Waters walks to the window, looking at the DC lights below. Her military training helps her recognize behavior patterns. Bradley shows classic signs of approaching a breakdown. Then she quietly reflects. Then everyone will see what happens when officers think they can intimidate citizens without consequences. "You're not a regular citizen." "Kesha," Maya reminds her. Waters nods. "To him, I'm just another black woman challenging his authority. Tomorrow I present my most damaging evidence. The systematic pattern proving his unit deliberately targets minorities." Maya's voice tightens with concern. "That will push him over the edge." Waters studies her reflection. "Exactly. My Afghan experience taught me sometimes the best strategy is letting your enemy defeat themselves." She reviews federal courtroom security protocols, ensuring maximum witness presence and complete documentation if Bradley loses control. "Maya, make sure major networks have crews tomorrow. I want everything recorded." "You're playing with fire, Kesha." Waters closes her laptop with quiet resolve. "I'm ending this the right way. When Bradley shows his true nature, the world will see why police reform is necessary." Her phone buzzes. A text from her teenage daughter. "Mom, be careful tomorrow. I saw the news coverage." Waters smiles and types back, "Don't worry, sweetheart. Mom knows how to handle bullies." She doesn't mention that Bradley outweighs her by 80 pounds and carries a service weapon, or that her Krav Maga training hasn't been tested in real combat for 3 years. Tomorrow will show whether preparation can overcome desperation. Wednesday morning arrives tense and thick. Courthouse steps swarm with reporters, protesters, and onlookers. Inside, courtroom 4A is over capacity. Every seat is filled, people stand along the walls, and cameras are positioned for full coverage. Judge Morrison calls the session to order. "Miss Waters, please proceed with your concluding presentation." Waters approaches the podium carrying a thick manila folder. She adjusts the microphone, glances briefly at Bradley standing rigidly by the side door, and begins. "Your Honor, today I present comprehensive analysis demonstrating systematic misconduct patterns that demand immediate intervention." Bradley's jaw tightens. Here comes the final character assault. Waters clicks to her first slide. Statistical analysis reveals targeting patterns that violate constitutional equal protection guarantees. Her laser pointer highlights neighborhood maps color-coded by enforcement activity. Deep red zones correspond exactly with minority population concentrations. Bradley's unit conducted traffic stops in these areas at rates exceeding 340% of demographic justification. Deliberate targeting. Bradley steps forward. That's not targeting. That's responding to crime patterns. Judge Morrison's gavel cracks. Officer Bradley, final warning. Waters continues without pause. Arrest-to-conviction ratios tell the real story. Bradley's unit 34%, department average 67%, indicating bias rather than evidence-based action. She advances to video compilation footage. Exhibit 23, pattern behavior analysis. The screen fills with clips of Bradley during arrests. All aggressive, all involving minorities, all escalating unnecessarily. In one clip, he yanks an elderly black man from his car during a broken taillight stop. The man moves slowly due to arthritis. Bradley interprets this as resistance. "Sir, when I say move, you move," his recorded voice shouts. "I'm trying." "My joints," the elderly man protests. Bradley spins him roughly against the vehicle. The gallery gasps. This isn't law enforcement, it's abuse of power. Bradley's face burns with shame and rage. Waters is highlighting his worst moments, ignoring context, showing him as a monster. She advances to her most damaging evidence, Exhibit 24. A new video, crystal clear body cam footage from 8 months ago. Bradley approaches a young black father during a traffic stop. The man sits calmly, hands on the steering wheel, following proper compliance protocol. "License and registration," Bradley demands. "Yes, sir." "Reaching into my glove compartment now," the man replies. But as Bradley circles the vehicle's passenger side, the camera catches him reaching into his own pocket, pulling a small baggie of white powder, and dropping it onto the passenger seat. The courtroom erupts. "What the hell is this?" Bradley's recorded voice asks, pointing at the planted evidence. "Officer, I don't know what that is," the man replies. "Step out. You're under arrest for possession of cocaine." The video continues as Bradley handcuffs the terrified father while his 3-year-old daughter screams in the car seat. The gallery shouts in outrage, "Monster! Corrupt cop!" How many others? Judge Morrison pounds her gavel repeatedly. "Order, order in this courtroom." Bradley watches his world collapse in high definition. That arrest destroyed a family. The father lost his job, apartment, and custody rights because Bradley wanted to boost his drug arrest statistics. Waters lets the video sink in before speaking again. This fabricated arrest sent an innocent man to prison for 18 months. His daughter grew up without her father because Officer Bradley planted evidence. Bradley gasps. The walls close in. Every courtroom face expresses disgust and hatred. "Your Honor, she's lying," he shouts. "That video is edited." "Fake news. Officer Bradley, you are out of order. She is not targeting you. She is exposing documented misconduct," Judge Morrison says. Waters turns slightly, meeting his gaze for the second time. Her voice remains calm, professional. "Officer, federal forensic analysis confirms the video is authentic. No edits, no manipulation." Bradley's mind snaps. Waters has systematically destroyed his reputation, his career, and his identity. She has made him the poster child for everything wrong with American policing. "You don't know what you're talking about," Bradley roars, abandoning his post. His boots thunder across the marble as he storms toward the podium. 20 phones start recording. "News cameras swivel. You activists come in here with your lies and statistics trying to destroy good men who risk their lives every day," he shouts. Waters doesn't move. She stands her ground, showing no fear. "You've never walked a beat, never faced a gang, never held a dying partner." Bradley's voice cracks with rage. He reaches the podium in 5 quick steps. Waters continues speaking into her microphone with unshakable composure. Pattern analysis shows systematic targeting of minority communities. Bradley's hand flies across her face with a thunderous slap. The slap echoes through a stunned courtroom. Waters' head snaps sideways and her glasses clatter onto the marble floor. "Know your place," Bradley sneers. Time seems to stop. Cameras record every moment. Witnesses hold their breath. Waters calmly touches her cheek, bends to retrieve her glasses, never breaking eye contact. When she straightens, her posture changes. Shoulders square, stance firm. Military precision replaces her usual academic poise. Bradley raises his hand for a second strike. Waters reacts. In 3 seconds, controlled defensive strikes unfold. Second one, she blocks Bradley's swing with her left hand. Second 2, steps inside his reach, driving her right palm into his solar plexus, disrupting his diaphragm and nervous system. Second 3, follows with an upward elbow to his jaw. Bradley's consciousness snaps off. He collapses, 210 pounds, hitting the marble with a heavy thud. Chaos erupts. Cameras flash. Judge Morrison pounds her gavel, powerless. Waters adjusts her glasses and resumes speaking. Your Honor, systematic misconduct requires systematic reform. Bradley lies motionless. His career ends where his arrogance began. The viral clip spreads immediately. Congresswoman knockout trends worldwide. 50 million views in 6 hours. But celebration is short-lived. Thursday morning, federal charges shock the nation. Assault and battery on a police officer. Assault on a federal employee. Disturbing the peace in a federal courthouse, each carrying potential prison time. District Attorney Marcus Thompson, ambitious and politically motivated, holds a press conference. Congresswoman Waters may claim self-defense, he states, but evidence tells a different story. He plays the viral video frame by frame, noting that Bradley's hand on her shoulder was standard restraint. Waters' military training made her response excessive. Media narratives shift overnight. Conservative outlets brand her a violent congresswoman attacking an officer performing his duties. Congressional leadership urges her to step back from the police reform bill. Approval ratings drop from 74% to 31% in 3 days. Bradley becomes the sympathetic victim, appearing on news shows with a neck brace, slightly slurred speech, carefully crafted to gain public sympathy. Social media erupts. Justice for Bradley clashes with her stand with Kesha. Police unions rally, demanding her resignation. First they attack budgets, now officers physically, declares police union president Mike Sullivan. Thompson builds his case methodically. Medical experts testify Bradley suffered mild concussion and whiplash. He claims Waters had alternatives: call for backup, use verbal de-escalation, or step away. Waters makes a bold decision. She will defend herself. Maya pleads, Kesha, this isn't political, it's criminal. They want prison. Waters remains composed. I spent my military career defending constitutional principles. I won't hide behind lawyers when those principles are under attack. Silence allows them to criminalize self-defense. Pretrial discovery uncovers suppressed evidence. Bradley's full disciplinary record, 47 excessive force complaints, closed IA investigations, $1.22 million settlements, social media posts attacking Waters, audio recordings revealing intent to sabotage her presentation, and medical records showing his injuries were minor. Thompson attempts to exclude much of this evidence, claiming irrelevance. The case becomes a referendum on police accountability, women's rights, and political power. Supporters rally on both sides. The trial is nationally televised. Jury selection highlights America's divisions. 12 citizens, mixed gender and ethnicity, tasked with determining self-defense versus assault. Thompson opens confidently. The evidence is clear. Waters used deadly force against Officer Bradley. Her response was excessive and criminal. He plays the viral clip again. 3 seconds of violence, avoidable with de-escalation, now under scrutiny. Waters rises for her opening statement. Alone. Members of the jury, I used the minimum necessary force to stop an ongoing assault. I will also show why Officer Bradley attacked me, and how this case reflects systemic accountability failures in law enforcement. Bradley testifies as the prosecution's star witness, rehearsed emotion evident. He claims Waters attacked him with military-level violence. Medical experts corroborate mild injuries. Waters begins cross-examination calmly, presenting a folder of documents. Officer Bradley, you testified that touching my shoulder was gentle. Let's examine that. She plays the viral video in slow motion. Bradley shifts uncomfortably. How many excessive force complaints have you received over 15 years? She asks. Thompson objects, overruled. Bradley admits 47 complaints, 12 sustained by IA. Yet he remained on duty. Waters presents audio recordings of racial slurs, video of planted evidence, and witness statements about intimidation. You attacked me because you couldn't tolerate a black woman presenting evidence of your misconduct, isn't that correct? Waters asks. Bradley explodes. You people always play the race card. Waters remains ice-cold, calm. Thank you, Officer Bradley. No further questions, she then addresses the jury directly. I served 2 tours in Afghanistan. Officer Bradley attacked me because he believed I was powerless. My response was proportional, defensive, and controlled. 3 strikes: block, disable, neutralize. Closing arguments reveal the stakes. Thompson insists Waters chose violence unnecessarily. Waters emphasizes systemic abuse in law enforcement. After 4 hours and 17 minutes, the jury returns. Not guilty on assault and battery charges. The courtroom erupts. Waters maintains composure, tears glistening. Outside, supporters celebrate. She addresses the crowd. Justice has been served. No one, regardless of badge or position, is above the law. And no one, regardless of race or gender, is below its protection. The crowd roars approval, chants of Maxine. Maxine, echo off federal building walls. Bradley's downfall accelerates rapidly. Within hours of the verdict, the Metropolitan Police Department fires him for conduct unbecoming an officer. His union, embarrassed by his racist courtroom outburst, withdraws all support. Federal prosecutors file civil rights violation charges based on his recorded statements and planted evidence. The FBI opens investigations into every arrest Bradley made over 15 years. Dozens of wrongfully convicted victims line up with lawyers demanding justice. Bradley's personal life crumbles simultaneously. His wife files for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and public humiliation. His children refuse contact, ashamed to share his name. The family home goes into foreclosure as legal bills mount. His pension disappears due to felony conviction. Job applications get rejected the moment employers Google his name. The viral video of his knockout follows him everywhere, a permanent reminder of consequences. Meanwhile, Maxine Waters experiences complete vindication on every front. Her approval ratings skyrocket to 84%, the highest for any freshman congresswoman in decades. Congressional leadership apologizes for distancing themselves and fast-tracks her police reform legislation. The Marcus Garvey Police Accountability Act passes both houses with overwhelming bipartisan support. House vote 289-146. Senate vote 64-36. The president signs it in a Rose Garden ceremony with Waters at his side. The legislation revolutionizes American policing overnight. Body cameras become mandatory for all federal law enforcement. Independent oversight boards gain subpoena power. Officers with excessive force complaints face automatic review. Waters' story spreads globally, inspiring similar reforms worldwide. The Waters Standard becomes international shorthand for proportional self-defense against authority figures who abuse their power. #Stand Up Like Maxine trends across social media platforms as millions share stories of standing up to bullies. Self-defense programs report 400% enrollment increases, particularly among women of color. The viral video takes on mythical status. 3 seconds of precision that changed everything. Military training programs study Waters' technique. Diplomatic training programs use her composure under pressure as a case study. Personal transformation follows professional vindication. Waters receives thousands of marriage proposals from admirers worldwide, but chooses to remarry quietly. A fellow veteran who respects her independence and strength. Her teenage daughter, inspired by her mother's courage, receives an appointment to West Point. "I want to serve like Mom did," she tells reporters. "But maybe I'll become president instead of congresswoman." Waters keeps a photo of Bradley's arrest on her congressional office desk. Not for revenge, but as a reminder that preparation prevents problems. When visitors ask about it, she simply says, "That's what happens when you assume you know who you're dealing with."